Welcome to this tutorial, Designing Student Learning Outcomes, a resource brought to you by the UMKC Office of Academic Assessment. This tutorial begins with an overview of just what academic assessment means at UMKC. A link here is provided that gives general impressions that are highlighted by three basic points. First, assessment helps the university to accomplish its leading goal of placing student success at the center. A second factor used in assessment involves the development of student learning outcomes for each course taught. Finally, it is understood across the campus that learning outcome assessment is any systematic inquiry that has the intent of improving teaching and learning as well as documented learning. Some characteristics of strong student learning outcomes include having the SLOs aligned with the already broad goals and program learning outcomes associated with a course. The focus is specifically on what students will be able to know, do, or value, and that active verbs are necessary and can be found within various levels of Bloom's taxonomy, which is highlighted later in this video. Further characteristics of strong student learning outcomes include the necessity to write with clarity for better student understanding, making the process collaborative between instructors who teach the course, and the necessity to get adjunct instructors into the process whenever and as much as possible. Finally, outcomes must be measurable, at times measuring the specifics of a project, product, or criterion to gauge an SLO's successful measurement. Generally, when such values are specified, they are considered to be operational, and as such it would be ideal to make reference to such products, which might include papers, projects, portfolios, tests, and more that demonstrate students' competencies. The next few slides offer examples of well-written student learning outcomes. It is important to emulate the framework of such outcomes as much as possible to better align them with program outcomes. Here you will find more student learning outcome examples. Notice the different usage of verbs. Looking beyond the College of Arts and Sciences, it should be easy to see the similarity of outcomes found in other departments on the UMKC campus. Again, it is interesting to note the array of verbs that can be used to describe student learning at each level from beginner to advanced knowledge. Use of such verbs can be easier to perform with the use of a framework known as Bloom's taxonomy, created in 1956 by Benjamin Bloom. Knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation pull together the specific function of Bloom's work. There are several resources that can be accessed and used to aid in the process Bloom strove to perfect. Here in the white portion of this chart is easy to see verbs that can be used in development. Next, the inverted chart offers words that can be used to suggest even more advanced student learning. Remember, assessment of student learning is a forward-thinking process. Here you will find revisions made to the taxonomy in 2001. The final three slides are questions asked by instructors on the campus and answered by the assessment office. It is hoped that these answers may allow someone to avoid pratfalls during their student learning design process. If there is something that you still wish to question that has not been answered as yet, please do not hesitate to call upon the assessment office for further guidance.